all lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Gee. I kind of.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah.
How you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
Well, negotiations, right? Politics.
And we're out of time. So you.
Hey, y'all, Gravity. Ain't they above ground livid?
I'm back.
All right. We are back. And I said, let's get some teaching in there. Because, you know, with this shutdown over and things going on in this country, there's some things that I could teach you, but I figure I get somebody or some people that could articulate it a little better than I could, because we're all about different perspectives around here. So what I did today was I got on the phone and I called a friend of mine. He deep in the trenches. He libertarian. He don't like what's going on, and he don't like the government just as much as I don't. So I said, okay, let's rapid taste. So what I did was I called up somebody named Jeff Charles. And Jeff Charles, he writes for RedState. And he does politics. And he's also a black man. Foundational, what they call him. So he knows how this country is with the government. So I said, let him talk. So what we're going to do is we're going to let him say hi to y'all. And also, if you are so inclined, he has a YouTube channel where he dives more into these kind of subjects. So you might find something over there that you like. So everybody say hello to Jeff Charles and his do-rag. Hello, Jeff Charles and the do-rag.
Hey, what's good? I got a correction to make, though. I'm not at RedState anymore. I've been at Town Hall for the
Town hall.
past
I
year.
always get those two confused. My fault. Town hall.
Yeah.
Town hall.
And the second thing, I need to know, you got to tell me at some point, like what your theme music is, what the name of it is. Because when me and Donnie are listening to your show, I love it. But I just heard it with these headphones and I heard that bass kicking. I was like, I need to hear more of that.
Well, a decade ago when I was in the booth, because, you know, all black people rap.
Right.
We were mixing it, and I looked through his files and I saw this, and he started playing it. And I was like, this is fire. I need this, because he was going to give it to a famous rapper, but they didn't want it. So I said, I'm going to take that. I gave him $10, and that has been my signature ever since. So I'm the only one in the world that has it. So if you want, it's going to cost you $50,000. That's most of my identity. Yes, that's most of my identity. I own the right.
I mean, I'm gonna have to put on a MAGA hat and start talking bad about black people to make that kind of money.
You know what? You might have started too late, because there's been infighting with MAGA. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I brought you here today because, you know, the government shutdown, like I said before, it's over. But they snuck some things in that bill, the Republicans did, that, you know, MAGA likes to avoid because they don't know how to articulate it to their audiences. But I also want to talk about local stuff, because, as again, we can fight over and talk about the nationals, but also the state and local is very important, as we have seen this past November with the Republicans getting their ass kicked in those state races and local jurisdiction races. But I figure we'll start with something that I talked about this morning, was this hemp situation between that industry and big alcohol, because the Republicans figured out how much their whore price is, and they took the hemp industry to school. So I'm going to let you explain that, and we're going to go get some articles so people can understand better what you're talking about, because I don't want to confuse people here.
So to really understand this, we got to get in the time machine and go back to 2018 when they passed the Farm Bill. And in this Farm Bill, there was a lot of different provisions. I don't really even know all of them. But what it did is it legalized THC that comes from the hemp plant, which comes from the same plant. It's a different version of the marijuana plant, right? So basically, the marijuana plant remained illegal, but hemp, you can get THC derived from that, which there really isn't much of a difference. It's like having like two different types of tomatoes. You got cherry tomatoes, you got Roma tomatoes, what have you. That's really the difference between hemp and then the regular cannabis sativa plant that people, you know, are familiar with. So this spawned a whole new market, and a lot of farmers in Kentucky. It's become a really big cash crop in Kentucky, but also in other areas of the country. It's where you get your Delta 8 THC, Delta 10. It's where you get your THCA, you know, gummies, smokables, or what have you. It's intoxicating. Basically, the way the regulation works is it has to have less than 0.3% THC in it. So basically, it's like a lighter kind of high than Delta 9, which is what most people are familiar with. But they've had other ways to make it even more potent and intoxicating. A lot of people use it for pain, to manage pain. A lot of people use it for anxiety, or just to relax after a hard day's work. The bottom line is it's not the government's business what people choose to consume. But you've got Republicans, and also, you know, especially with this spending bill, this was also Democrats too. So I can't let them off the hook either. But it's really been Republicans who have been pushing to ban hemp-derived THC ever since this farm bill came and created that loophole. So what they've been trying to do is ban it in states like in Louisiana, it's banned where I live. In Arkansas, it's banned. They tried to ban it in Texas, but it didn't work out. But what they did with this new spending bill to reopen the government is they snuck in a provision that would basically ban these products. Now you could still get CBD, which comes from the same plant, but it doesn't have any THC in it, but it still has some medicinal properties, good for anxiety, relaxation. Some people say it helps them with pain, all that good stuff. But they passed this in the Senate. Now, Senator Rand Paul stood against that. He introduced an amendment to remove that language from the spending bill. They basically bulldozed over him. In the House, it passed, and it seemed to pass easily. So now this ban is going, I think it's supposed to be in effect in sometime in 2026. I don't know if it's by the end of 2026 or I can't remember the exact time frame. But that's what's going to happen, which means that it's going to kill a multi-billion-dollar business. There are plenty of small businesses who sell these products that are going to go out of business because you've got people in Washington, D.C. who think that they know what's better for you than you do. This is, to me, it's not just about the plant. It's about everything. If they can control what you choose to consume, especially something as that is not as harmful as some of the other substances that are legal, then how much further will they go? Also, before I land the plane here, I have to point out is these politicians who push this stuff, like Senator Mitch McConnell, he's one of the worst. They get paid buku bucks by guess who? Alcohol, tobacco, big pharma, all of these industries that don't want the competition. This is one of many ways that these rich lobbyists will throw money at politicians to basically weaponize the threat of government violence. And there's a reason why I'm saying government violence against their competition so that they don't have to worry about a competitor. A lot of people are using THC products to get off of alcohol, or they're using it as an alternative to fentanyl and other opioids. Tobacco, same thing. So nobody's really concerned about safety here. Like when they say that it's about protecting children or about protecting people, oh, we don't know what this stuff has in it. No, you don't care about that. You're doing this to eliminate an industry so that alcohol, big pharma, and tobacco can thrive, and also to grow the size of the government. Because every time they pass a law, the government grows in the vast majority of cases. All right, so I'll stop my rant there.
All right. So hopefully you got all that, but you guys got all that, but it's a lot of information to take in. We know this. So we're going to help jog your memory a little bit. Who remembers this? And before we'll give you a little visual aid. Who remembers when a certain person brought this up last year?
Let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Who remembers this? Kamami. She was trying to kiss black men's ass. She wanted us to give her votes so she could put this legislation into power. And it didn't work because you came to New Black Media and we told you that this was a grift. Vice President Kamala Harris is pledging Monday to legalize recreational marijuana, protect cryptocurrency assets, and give 1 million loans to black entrepreneurs as part of her efforts to court black voters who may be pivotal in the presidential race. Polls show that some black men may be gravitating towards former President Trump, Harris's Republican rival, or not vote at all. Harris and other prominent Democrats are trying to counter that. Among the initiatives being announced by Harris Monday, this here: legalizing recreational marijuana and providing opportunities for black Americans to succeed in the industry. So if she would have gotten in, this would have been a lot of black Americans. They would have sunk their savings, taken out these loans, thinking they're going to get a piece of that American dream. And thanks to this government shutdown, which we know are planned, they would have lost all that wealth, all that future wealth. So for those who think that it's just one side hates you, no, both sides hate you. But, there's that. And you would be nice to know that this is also Trump's fault. Because, MAGA dumb. we've highlighted this many a time. MAGA's dumb. They joined the Trump train and then it derails and then they act like they didn't know. Most of this stuff comes from China anyway. But Trump tried to put tariffs on it. Yes, he did. And they didn't like that. But again, they weren't going to explain that to their audiences because they know, one, their audiences are dumb, and number two, they knew that they couldn't explain this to their audiences because they don't know how to. But again, you come to New Black Media and we will explain it to you.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
So for those who love to tell you that the tariffs are working, ha ha. This is from April of this year. I just got hired. Trump tariffs to raise prices for U.S. cannabis users. We know he doesn't like the farmers, but he also doesn't like those that are bringing the product in. Sweeping tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday are set to increase prices of cannabis products in the country as many firms rely on Asia for manufacturing. The latest levies will stack up on any duties imposed earlier on countries like China, Canada, Mexico, and the EU. Isn't that interesting?
But Trump will tell you that the economy is doing just fine.
Oh,
he can say whatever he wants. Like he was, I can't remember who was interviewing him, but basically somebody, and I don't even think it was a journalist who was on the left. I think it was somebody who was on the right saying, people are still struggling with grocery prices, gas prices. And he basically responded by saying, everything's good. The tariffs are working and the economy is fine. Doesn't that sound familiar? Wasn't there somebody else who did that, who basically insisted that the economy was doing just fine while people were struggling to make ends meet? Oh yeah, that was Joe Biden, the guy that Trump was insulting the whole time for saying that. It's absolutely amazing how these parties are basically the same. Yeah, they've got some differences here and there, but at the end of the day, they're not different enough, which is one of the reasons why Donnie and I went the way we did. We went more libertarian, because the parties, they don't do what they say they're going to do. They just tell you what you want to hear. They get elected and they do whatever the hell they want.
Shout out to SG Johnson. He said, if it weren't for grass, I would have been close to 3 years sober from the bottle. That's what's up. And ironically, I bought 3 bottles of something today. Nothing strong, family. It just got some plum wine, some sake. My wife got a bottle of Manischewitz. So we're going to have fun for Thanksgiving. We're going to have fun. But also, I like how China always gets mentioned with Trump, right? Isn't that something? It's like he's telling you what the play is, but they still miss it.
We know this. The Chinese know that we know. But we make believe that we don't know, and the Chinese make believe that they believe that we don't know, but know that we know. Everybody knows.
It's going to be okay, family. Pretty soon, we're going to show you how to invest in China. We're going to make all of y'all some money. There will be disclaimers, of course, but we're going to help you out. Your boy's been studying. But let's continue. Items such as tins, vape hardware, and specialized glass remain difficult to source domestically, and companies remain largely dependent on Asia, particularly China, analysis and executives said. Those relying on exports from nations with tariffs such as China will need to take a serious look on how they might absorb the extra costs or alter partnerships, said Brian Gerber, CEO of Harris Supply, the world's largest manufacturer of cones and combustibles. Shares of cannabis firms such as Tilray Brands, Canopy Growth, Organigram, and TerraSend were trading down between 5 and 10% on Thursday. Again, this is back in April. Most of these tariff costs will be passed on to consumers. The higher costs will likely drive more customers to the illicit market, further denting margins for legal cannabis firms, which would have been us if we had listened to Command Me. Most cannabis businesses do not have the margin flexibility to absorb a 10 to 15% increase, said Mike Forenzo, managing partner at AE Global, which makes packing products for cannabis firms. Higher costs have already hit demand. Manufacturers are passing these tariff costs down the line and will ultimately impact our customers. We are starting to see a softening in the market and inbound order rates starting to slow, said Brad Wasserstrom, president of Wasserstrom Company, a supply chain firm working with cannabis companies. The ongoing North American trade spat could exacerbate problems. Things used to grow cannabis crop, including compost and peat, are imported from Canada, and the tariffs will make them costlier. We work with a manufacturer who imports their glass from China. The wood is imported from Canada and it's put together in Mexico all before it's distributed in the U.S. How is that getting taxed, said Wasserstrom. That's a challenge for everyone, and ultimately it will come down to the consumer level. But remember, Trump said we was making all this tariff revenue.
Yeah, there's no we with it. The government is making that tariff revenue. And by the way, I mean, we could be seeing the end of that coming up. I would say by June of next year. I don't know if you saw the news about the Supreme Court hearing on Trump's tariffs. And, you know, based on what the justices were saying, it doesn't look good for these tariffs, which is good for the rest of us, because a lot of people are hurting because of these tariffs, not even just the cannabis industry, but also other industries as well. And they tried to argue basically what you just said there, that the administration tried to argue that this isn't a tax. This is designed to curb the flow of fentanyl into the United States, and that the revenue that they get from it is just incidental. We just happen to get revenue from it. And I think it was either Gorsuch or Kavanaugh who shut that down, said, no, dude, it's a tax. Come on now. And so I think that, you know, if the Supreme Court rules, because their term ends in June, if they rule against it, then we'll see a lot of this coming down, because Trump really didn't have the authority to do this in the first place. There are narrow circumstances under which a president can impose tariffs, but really that's supposed to be the job of Congress, who was not approving of any of this.
And China just said that they're going to stop making the fentanyl precursors. Like that's
yes, I wrote about that yesterday.
Would you like to tell them about that one?
Yeah, so basically you'll hear Trump talk a lot about the fentanyl that comes over the southern border. The way that happens, the way the chain works, is that the precursor chemicals, which are basically the ingredients for fentanyl, kind of like eggs and flour and sugar are the ingredients for making a cake. These Chinese companies are manufacturing the ingredients for fentanyl. They ship that over to the drug cartels in Mexico.
Earn an average of
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah, so they ship that over to the Mexican drug cartels. Then they put it together, they manufacture the fentanyl, and then they smuggle it into the United States, where people will take it, or they'll lace it into other street drugs so that people don't know that they're taking it, because it's highly addictive. And then we have over 100,000 overdose deaths, 70% of which were due to fentanyl. So so the idea here is that if China shuts down the precursor market, then that will help to fix the problem. Now, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that it does. But realistically, is China really going to do that? Or are they just going to find a sneakier way to do it? Or are the cartels going to find another way to get these drugs into the United States? Because they're basically poisoning people. The issue, though, is that the war on drugs isn't working. It's never worked. It's never going to work, at least not the way they say it will. It works the way they intend, though. You got tons of people getting locked up for drug offenses, when the easier solution would be to harm the cartel's business by legalizing these substances. And that's a whole other debate. I get that. But at the same time, I think this is just yet another example. And Trump is not the only one who does this, but these are called what I call feel-good policies. They implement these policies that make you feel good because you feel like the government's doing something to address a serious problem. But in reality, they're either doing nothing, and they're doing that to fool you into thinking they are, or they're actually making the problem worse while convincing us that they're actually trying to solve a problem, kind of like gun control.
Say that last part again.
Kind of like gun control. Gun control is the ultimate feel-good policy. Doesn't do jack, but it makes people feel like something's being done, especially after there's a school shooting or a mass shooting, that kind of thing.
Oh man, it's so much fun, isn't it? And now they cheering that Cash went to go talk to China. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. But there was that. And don't worry, fam. Later, we're going to have a little surprise for you because Jeff is going to help me with an alley-oop. You guys are going to get a live video / roast. Because I figure since he's here, we might as well do that. And you're going to love it.
Uh-oh.
But let's move on. We're going to go over to this. Now, this is in Jersey, so it's up top. They were talking about this because a whole lot of states, and the 2018 thing that you mentioned is in here as well, but there was a whole lot of states writing about what it's going to do for their industries there. And that is just an underscore of how bad this sneaking in that they did and what its ramifications are, how it can be for local economies. But I'm sure they're going to be like, well, this is going to help California get better. Okay, motherfucker. Y'all really just don't want us to have no fun around here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious. I look up, I want to see how it impacts AI. And I think we're starting to see the beginning of the AI boom crash. Who's ready for that? Raise your hand. Because you fools are going to sit up there and invest in AI. Nothing wrong with that, but that's the only thing propping up the stock market. The only thing. But let's see what this is. AI stocks, why the end of U.S. government shutdown didn't bring good news. Well, President Trump has signed a funding bill to end the U.S. government shutdown. Jeff, we will ask you about this later right here. But the unemployment and inflation data for October may never be released. Here's why the absence of macroeconomic data is hurting AI stocks today. I heard the laugh. This is going to be interesting.
Did you see what Caroline left yesterday?
Oh, we played it earlier today.
You did? I couldn't believe that. And I'm like, are y'all really buying this? Like y'all really think that Democrats have been cooking the numbers on the unemployment rate, so that's why they can't release them and that's why they're all fake news? Like, it's amazing that people don't see that they're being conned. Like, I don't get it.
They like to be conned.
That's true. They do want to be lied to. Yeah.
They are what they call it. A shiny object could con you. That's what they are right now. That way they could pick your pocket. By the way, she said something yesterday, right? We played this, remember? This isn't the first time that she said this, though. Remember, she said it in August, but we'll play that later. Let's look at this AI real fast. U.S. President Donald Trump signed a funding bill late on Wednesday to officially end the 43-day government shutdown, restoring operations across federal agencies. For investors, though, the reopening hasn't brought the clarity they hoped for. According to White House officials, unemployment and inflation data for October will not be released at all. That data vacuum is rattling markets, especially high growth sectors like artificial intelligence and quantum computing today. Quantum computing. Because we know what that means. That's crypto. By the way, family and Jeff, we're going to play a game. Don't nobody look this up, though. But how much do you think the Dow lost today? Don't look it up. Just throw out numbers. And then we will ask the question, MAGA, is this what you voted for? Jeff, do you have a number?
I'm gonna guess 15 points. 15 points.
15 points. That's a good guess.
Ha ha! Joke's on you.
You said 500 million? Well, if there was 500 million, we'd be in a depression right now. Y'all might have to break out the what they call it, the hemp covers like Rambo did. Yes, we're doing points. You said 8 points.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Emperor Rex said 447.
Give a brother a break.
What the hell was that?
447. That was good. Not even close. You said 10 points. Interesting.
Okay. You did it though. You, okay, that was you though. I didn't do nothing. I heard.
Robert, stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing.
Okay, nobody's gonna get it. We're gonna have fun, family. Strap in.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
Bam. And you say, God damn, this is a dope jam. Almost 800 points. Isn't that wonderful?
Good God.
What did we tell y'all, family, for weeks? That this recession is coming. 800 the day after the government opens. Well, on paper. Today the government opened, they said 800. We gonna drop this motherfucker. We gonna crater this bitch. And your boy put some stock in there today, but it was penny stocks. But I just said, let me get a little something for the baby girl and myself. The wife, not so much. But I'm just kidding. She get a little bit. But yes, 800 points. Because they can't play the speculative game. So they got pissed off. Yes, they did. Bet your MAGA didn't say nothing about this. As tech stocks slide. Huh. We go back to the article, though. That data vacuum is, well, we read that. Shares of NVIDIA, the one that they all want to be on their knees for now. Broadcom, Rigetti, IonQ, all traded lower on Thursday as traders grappled with uncertainty around labor market health and monetary policy direction. Because remember, they're not going to try to do another Fed cut until December. Without fresh macroeconomic signals, investors are flying blind, and AI stocks, which thrive on forward-looking confidence, are bearing the brunt. Now, this next section is going to be very important because it's something I've told y'all about for months now. All these hiring companies and now all these corporations are starting to use AI on their websites and their apps. AI assistants, what they call them. So let's see what they say. Why the monthly unemployment data matters for AI stocks. AI stocks are particularly sensitive to labor market trends because they sit right at the intersection of automation, enterprise spending, and economic productivity. Unemployment data helps investors gauge whether businesses are hiring, expanding, or pulling back, all of which influence demand for AI infrastructure and services. And remember who he sold the AI infrastructure and services to. Without October's unemployment data, analysts lack key input for modeling corporate investment behavior, which is especially problematic for companies like NVIDIA and Broadcom, whose chips power data centers and AI workloads. If hiring slows or layoffs rise, it could signal weaker enterprise demand. In short, the absence of monthly unemployment data leaves investors guessing, and is uncertain environments, high beta tech stocks like AI tend to suffer first. The missing inflation report poses an even greater challenge. AI stocks are highly rate sensitive because they rely on long-term growth projections and often trade at elevated valuations. If inflammation, well, it's also inflammation, but it's inflation here, remains sticky and the Federal Reserve doesn't have the data to confirm otherwise, it may choose to delay or cancel a rate cut at its December meeting. Get some. Did y'all hear that? So everybody's predicting that Fed rate cut in December go down another 0.25. It might not go. You might have just gave Jerome Powell more power. Good job, Republicans. You gave the Democrats another talking point. I hope you're happy. That would keep borrowing costs high, pressuring tech firms that depend on cheap capital for innovation and expansion. Moreover, the lack of CPI data means investors can't assess real-time consumer pricing trends, which are crucial for forecasting Fed behavior. In this vacuum, traders are leading on private surveys and alternative indicators, many of which suggest cooling demand, persistent inflation. Remember what we talked about that gas this morning? I showed you those flights. Hey, Jeff, do you know that you could take a flight from San Francisco to Fort Lauderdale on JetBlue for $100 one way?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, we looked it up today.
I can't believe I saw that low.
Like I looked at it, they said from New York to Fort Lauderdale was like $60-something. $66 one way.
And those aren't red-eye flights?
No. I mean, they have
Wow.
you have to fly at a certain time, but
Right.
like a certain date. But I mean, to fly cross country for $100, where they do that at?
Wow.
But the economy's so good. They put them prices that low and people still can't fly. Especially with these cuts now they're doing at the airport. The ambiguity is toxic for AI stocks, which need clear macro signals to justify their premium multiples. Until the Fed regains full visibility, the sector may remain under pressure, regardless of shutdown resolution. The government shutdown may be over, but the missing macroeconomic data has left AI stocks in limbo. Without unemployment and inflation reports, the path forward for rate policy and tech valuations remains murky. Until investors regain access to reliable economic indicators, volatility in high growth sectors like AI and quantum computing is likely to persist, with sentiment driven more by speculation than substance. So we're going to have flying blind investing, the FBI, what I call it. There you go. That's the mantra. They don't want to save the country. They just want to be celebrities. But yes, what I was alluding to earlier as well, Caroline Leavitt, it's not the first time yesterday that she mentioned that data was not going to be released. Remember when she said this back in August? That whole scuttlebutt that got that BLS, I guess what they call them, commissioner or whatever position, they got them fired because the data was so bad. Huh.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sure,
yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. So Gavin Newsom has said that California is going to sue in response to the government's demand for $1 billion from UCLA over the DOJ's anti-Semitism findings. Newsom has called this extortion and ransom. So I'm wondering what the White House's response is to Newsom on UCLA.
Bring it on, Gavin. This administration is well within its legal right to do this, and we want to ensure that our colleges and our universities are respecting the First Amendment rights and the religious liberties of students on their campuses. And UCLA,
we don't care, because you don't respect nobody. But you see what it said on the bottom? White House declining quality, reliability from BLS. And then remember, we played this morning that she said the federal jobs and inflation reports for October may never get calculated and released after a record length government shutdown froze economic data collection. But the private ones already put out the data
to me.
Yeah, and the private ones put out the data already. It said they were tracking 153,000 jobs lost. They're lost. So yeah. Don't you just love this administration? Don't you just love any administration? They want to play with us.
This is the most transparent administration in the history of this company or country, according to Trump.
Well, this country is a company.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like it's.
And
just,
by the way, since Biden,
yeah, this is one of the things that gets me so exasperated about politics. And if Biden had pulled this crap, like you'd be hearing all kinds of vitriol coming from the right, but it's crickets when Trump does it, and the other way around. I mean, if Biden had done something like this, Democrats wouldn't be saying anything. Like it's just, this is why our country is screwed and why the future looks so bleak. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but as long as only half of the country cares when the government does something wrong, it has no incentive to stop. I mean, if people like when they see something like this happen, like the administration saying we're not going to release the jobs numbers because the other party messed them up or what have you, and we know we can't trust them. We know they lie all the time, but only half of the country is going to complain. Why wouldn't they do this? Why? What's to keep the Democrats from doing this when they eventually take back over? Like it's just that's what's frustrating, and people just go along with the show. Because just like you say, they're influencers. They want to be celebrities. They don't want to save the country. They want to save their pocketbooks. And people just willingly fall for the con job because, like you said earlier, people want to be lied to. They don't want the truth. They want their opinions regurgitated back to them so that they don't have to actually engage in critical thinking. There are too many people who are like that. And then on top of that, you've got people who just don't really have time to keep up with all this crap. I mean, they're just trying to put food on the table. I'd say most people most people fall into that category. So when you watch a news program or if you watch your favorite influencer on YouTube, they actually, I mean, I'm one of them. I'm the media. It's my job to look into this stuff. The difference is that I'm not going to lie to people. Like I may get some things wrong, but I'm never going to promote a narrative that isn't true because it'll be good in my bank account. The problem is that most influencers don't have that. They don't have those principles. So people are being led astray. They're believing all kinds of false narratives about the economy, about culture, about race. You talk about it all the time. And they don't realize what we're being led into. We are being led into the slaughter, and people don't really understand that yet.
It's going to be fun. So much fun. I need more fun. We're going to give you more fun. Are you guys ready for the big fun? Because I know Jeff got a lot to say when I show him this.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
Might as well let him explain this.
Oh, is that from like recently or from like last week? I'm just curious to see if he's still harping on it.
Let me check. Well, he said it again yesterday when he was signed.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he signed it yesterday. He said it. He's like, we got to terminate the filibuster. I was like,
and everybody who was getting mad when Democrats were saying that, well, I shouldn't say everybody. But a lot of them are right on board with it because Trump is saying it. Now, I have seen some principled Republicans say, no, don't eliminate the filibuster. But basically in the Senate, Democrats have been trying to do away with the filibuster so that when they have to pass a spending bill or legislation of that nature, you need to have 60 senators on board. when the Senate is basically almost half of each party, that's nearly impossible. That's one of the reasons why the government shut down in the first place. But if you eliminate the filibuster, then you only need a simple majority, which means that only 51 senators have to vote to pass a continuing resolution or a spending bill or something like that, which means that it's much easier for whatever party's in charge to pass laws that grow the government, make it more powerful, and screw the rest of us. And the argument that I'm seeing from those who agree with Trump are basically, well, Democrats are going to do it anyway, so we might as well do it and get what we want. And I'm seeing a lot of that sentiment in a lot of other issues when they're trying to justify Republicans using the government against people they don't like. They say, well, the Democrats are going to do it. No, that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because you want your party to have power, because you think you're going to benefit from it and that it's never going to affect you negatively. Next time a Democrat is in office and they start doing this, they're going to complain about it. And I'm going to say, I told you.
These. Oh, boy. And then what else would they sneak in that you can't stop? But they want that. It's like they crave it. Well, are y'all going to go outside yet or no? Probably not. But before we get up out of here, and I appreciate all the information you were dropping, Jeff, are you ready for a live roast?
Sure. Bring it on.
Now, this part will be cut out and put up as a separate video, but I just had to bring this to the family. I was thinking about how to do this in a video, but the video idea that now I started planning it out, it wasn't going to work. So I said, let me go do it live. We're going to do it live. You know how we always make fun of those who are in MAGA or the right or the conservative movement, and they say dumb things, right? But we never really get on the fans. And yes, don't let it confuse you. MAGA has fans. They also have sycophants. Fam, what if I told you I found a sycophant over there in MAGA who decided to put out a list trying to promote MAGA-based channels? And I'm looking at this list and I said, now, I hope to God they paid you for this. Because his list was so bad. It's no wonder that now, since he's exposed who he thinks people should listen to, no wonder his takes suck. So we're going to do ourselves a nice little live roast, because I'm going to roast everybody on that list. Just for your education, edification, and your amusement. Y'all can even join in as well. Here we go.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
Where is it, Wilson? Oh, yes. Here we go. All right, family. As I said, we have a lot of folk on here who they want to be part of something. That's what MAGA is. It's just a wannabe club. Yeah, I bit my tongue a lot with this dude, especially when Sonny Johnson cooked him the other day. Then he pops up with this. Fam, I got to get this man. He might be a bot, but I'm just saying, we're going to treat him like a black man who's lost. You lost Negro. Shout out to Loaded Lux. He wrote, there are too many brilliant positive influences on the right to give someone like Nick Fuentes any attention. Now, we will agree with him on there, but we know those voices never get amplified because they all want the idiots in front with the microphone. If Brother Torian's here, he'd love the first one. Chad O. Jackson, the motherfucker who has MLK in his mouth all day, every day. Chad O. Jackson, somebody that CJ Pearson aspires to age like, because he is old Andre from The Wire, old face Andre, but he's a young cat. First off, Chad O. Jackson, he needs to get better suits. Those suits are terrible. Number 2, stop with the black and white video, sir. This motherfucker is trying to give 96 NWO vibes. Sir, you're not that cool. You're not that sweet. You're not that. You're a bitter black man who can't get no white pussy. We're just going to call it what it is. You can't get quality white pussy because Lily Gaddis put you down in the DMs and you are scared to show it because you think they'll turn on you. Okay, we're done with you. Sissy Benny Johnson. Now, how dare you, sir? Benny Johnson, Mr. Russia himself. Remember, we did the Tenant Media live streams. We showed how much he was willing to whore himself out to the Kremlin and a bottle of vodka. Mm-hmm. From Florida. You say he's brilliant because he found a way to grift himself to the White House. And you think this is brilliant.
The thing is, he's getting the brilliance wrong. I mean, he is, and I'm sure the other people on this list too, I don't know all of them, but they are brilliant when it comes to manipulating people, when it comes to appealing to people's biases. That they're brilliant at that, although it's not that hard, but I'll give them that. I mean, they know how to play people, just like Candace Owens. They know how to play people and get their money.
I guess. I guess. Next, Jesse Lee Peterson.
Amazing.
Negro.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Even white people ain't fucking with Jesse like that.
Jesus Christ. Is this a joke? Huh? Are you joking right now?
Jesse been struggling to get an audience ever since he got exposed retweeting gay porn. Are y'all serious
JLP in
right
person.
Now? What's that you said?
I met JLP in person a long time ago before he really blew up. I was probably in my late teens, early 20s. Good thing, I mean, I'm glad I didn't spend that much time with him, but based on what I heard. But yeah, he's been around for quite a while, and it's amazing that people even still listen to him.
I mean, he went from following Shahrazad Ali around for a month to retweeting gay porn. That's a hell of a fall off.
Well, he's got something in common with Nikki Fuentes, then, right? It makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, they both like men's.
I mean, they have that.
They both like men's. All right.
Right.
You're right.
Awesome.
Now this one, we just gonna say this. Where's my daughter? Okay, she can't hear me. Fuck this nigga. Let's go on. A Righteous Perspective. Never heard of them. I'm pretty sure they might be white and probably stupid, but fuck them. The Biblical Conservative. Okay. MAGA, y'all don't know nothing about that Bible. Y'all swear up and down that you claim that you know about. I mean, I would venture to guess that these people probably say Joel Webbin is probably one of the smartest people ever to live. And if that's the case, you need to take back your subscription. Because this no. Ruthless podcast host, I saw a clip of their studio. It just looks like it smells like there's no HVAC in the room. I'm just saying. But this is who you listen to. But that's okay. That's okay. Victor David Hansen. No. Do you know who this is?
I know the name. He's been around for a long time. I can't say I've actually read any of his stuff though.
Yeah. Oh, I think we should give the family a little taste. I think we should. Because I mean, the people that they follow, boy. He try. I see what he's doing. He's trying to elevate the red pill. It don't work. It's not gonna work, sir. You look like Skeletor's age. It's not gonna work. So I would. You know what? We might as well give you a little taste. We might as well. So he said this: the sad, conflicted state of young American men. He says the education system has stripped young men of the desire and ability to be responsible adults. I thought y'all were the same ones who told us that the education system was no good and that men should be self-reliant. Why are you blaming now the education system and you're offering no solution for these men to go out there and be better men? You sound like females. I'm sorry. No disrespect to the females in the room, and those are going to see it on Replay Squad. You sound like females. Men fix problems. Men give solutions. You guys are sitting here with decent microphones complaining. You guys are near death. It's okay. Teach your grandkids. Correct. You're right, Nick Piper. Democrats are the dumbest people on the planet. So are conservatives. A lot of them. And by the way, when I say conservatives, I'm talking about the ones that grifted over to MAGA and the right. Because those are actually Democrats and liberals as well. Like a lot of these people on the list that we're going over. But we'll go back to the list because the list is hilarious. We haven't even scratched the surface yet on this list. Vince Everett Ellison, aka the pastor who decided to bail out the white man to diss MLK. Because Charlie Kirk, I would say God rest his soul, but Satan got it. He had to be his mouthpiece, pause, because Charlie Kirk was too scared that the great ancestor MLK would come down and beat the shit out of him on his show live. And we would still be playing the video today. Where is he now? Why did Fox News not bring him up? He should have been elevated in his Pastor Pork Chop suits. But they didn't, because he is a black man. And they know that him going in front of Charlie Kirk and dissing MLK, because they're still in the I have a dream spell, because they don't want to look at anything else that he wrote or said. He is a safe Negro. And now they're in the... What, the safe Negro?
No, Vince Everett Ellison. I don't think I've ever heard of him.
No. Yeah, Charlie Kirk elevated him to talk shit about MLK on MLK Day, and rightly both of them got roasted for it, because he was like, I'm gonna bring proof that MLK was a communist and he was bad for America. And then as soon as we all ready to hear it and refute, he brings this guy on there and he just bloviates for an hour and said nothing. Oh, that show's still up. But then again, Charlie says everything bad about black. Well, I'm sorry. Let's reverse that. Charlie said everything bad about black people that he could, and ended up coming to find out it took a black woman to prove to everybody that he sat there and listened to hip hop, even though he said hip hop was degenerate. Oops. This is why I tell you, don't listen to them on the right. They're full of hypocrites, and they're actually low-key liberals. We continue though. April Chapman. Okay, so we have a gossip person who grifted over into politics, and now y'all want to elevate her because she light-skinned and she has a dirty mouth. You motherfuckers.
I don't know
This
who
is
she
why.
is either.
Huh?
I must be out of the loop. I don't know who most of these people are.
I caught her 2 years ago. She used to do gossip content on YouTube, but they figured she started talking about the election and Kamala Harris, and she gained that white audience and that MAGA audience, and now she's over here pulling the Angela Stan King griff. Oh, don't worry, we got something coming for her very soon. Because I saw that little con that she's putting together, and con has 2 different meanings. Yeah, I got a lot to say about that. Jillian Michaels. Okay, Jillian Michaels. Go back to the stretches, please. Because the way you have been falling off talking about politics. Jeff Charles, you my brother. I gotta ask you this. Let me get on film for this. I'm put on my light. Let me put on my light. Yes, I'm a black man. Let me put on my light. Jeff Charles, how you go in front of Piers Morgan with other white people get cooked by a black man named Amazing Lucas? How you pull that off?
You know what's sad? When I first saw her name, that is the first thing that I thought of. And every single time I see her name or I see her face, that's what I'm going to think of. Because she got, I mean, you're talking about roasting people. He absolutely roasted all of them. Now, I'm not saying I agreed with everything he said, but I agreed with a lot of it because, I mean, it's just, I think one thing that Lucas is really good at is pointing out hypocrisy and pointing out, you know, just the shallowness of a lot of these folks, a lot of these people who get elevated. And I think he caught them off guard because they're not used to hearing stuff like that coming from somebody who isn't like a far left progressive. I don't even know what Lucas is now. I don't know if he considers himself conservative, liberal, or just whatever. But I think that's why he caught him off guard, because they're just not used to that type of challenging.
But you know what? Don't take my word for it. We found something that she said the other day that we need to highlight because, you know, it's Jillian Michaels. And again, she stretches for a living. She stretches. So what we're going to do is we're going to let her play it. We're just going to show you how out of touch she is with reality.
You know, let me go
They
here.
do to your body.
There's a growing concern.
I want y'all to listen to this and tell me if this woman is intelligent and if it should be someone we should be taking serious when it comes to political discussions.
Jillian, I'm going to change the subject for a second here. I know you've been talking to your Beverly Hills plastic surgeon about what Ozempic can really do to your body. Okay, fill us in. What can Ozempic really do?
So I understand this is Fox business. I understand. You went on Fox Business to talk about Ozempic, even though Trump just loosened the restrictions on weight loss drugs. So Big Pharma finna make more money right now. And you're about to tell everybody the side effects of a drug that people have been using for over a year now. Okay, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm intrigued. I want to hear all the stretching you're going to do.
You know, I went in for a routine Botox injection.
Because she can relate, because most Americans get Botox injections. She can really relate to the American people.
I'm a health expert, but I'm not a nun, for goodness sake. And he always downloads me kind of on the latest and trends of what's going on. And
I think download meant something else, but we're going to keep moving.
Skincare and health and what he sees in his office. And he was just basically unloading on me about how he's noticing some of his patients, obviously he did not name names, some of his patients on Ozempic are not healing properly.
Isn't that like a borderline HIPAA violation?
I think she covered herself though. She didn't name names.
I guess. Beverly Hills, because most Americans live in Beverly Hills or something similar. Yeah, Beverly Hills. Oh, I want to talk about how bad America is, yet I go west to go get Botox injections. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Tell us more.
That the skin doesn't just look older, it's behaving older. And I looked into it a little bit because I thought, okay, this is crazy. This is obviously more than just, oh, we're losing some subdermal fat. And it turns out that there are studies that suggest we're seeing a breakdown in structural proteins. So elastin, collagen, hyaluronic acid. And one of the theories is that Ozempic is actually deactivating adipose stem cells in our skin, in the subdermal layer of our skin.
So it sounds like y'all betrayed your boy W. Remember how W hated stem cells?
Yeah.
She's really out here trying to sound like Dr. Michaels. They don't want to save the country. They just want to be celebrities.
Hey, but you know what? I'll say this. I mean, it's
by the way,
she wants to
screenshot.
stick to talking.
That's a hell of a look right there.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna say, just real quick, like if she wants to stick to talking about Ozempic, I'm good with that. But when she veers into race stuff and slavery,
Wait a minute, my man Church, who's studying law, said it is a violation. Oh shit.
Oh.
Uh-oh. But that's a crazy look right there. That's how she's gonna look when the lawsuits come down.
Structural proteins. So that was just one of many things that I've been hearing from doctors lately on Ozempic. It's really
okay. Great. She knows everything about geopolitics. All right, whatever. Let's go back. Devery Dawkins. Right off the bat, that sounds like a racist name. But let me look. Oh Lord, fam. Jeff, how? Don't say your age, but have you ever heard of In Heat of the Night?
I've heard of it.
Okay, the TV show.
Never watched it.
Okay. Well, the black guy they used for Detective Tibbs was Howard Rollins. I'm finna get you a picture of him. Now, he's long since been with the ancestors. He died in 96. But when he was on the show, this was him. Right? Okay. Now, just imagine this and the next person that I'm going to put up. If they did the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z. That is Cole Brown from Martin.
Yeah.
This is who this person looks like if they did the fusion dance. I bullshit you not. There he go right there.
Oh.
Like, come on, bro. And how is your podcast perfect, my nigga? Who did you pay?
I never heard of this dude either.
And don't you see how they love to do this Daily Wire aesthetic right here with their logos?
Yeah.
But he hasn't put up a podcast episode since August 4th.
He reminds me more of that Somali dude that was running for Minneapolis mayor. The I'm the captain now guy.
Yeah. Well, makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Authentically Kennedy 2.0. Makes sense. Anyway, at least it was smart. He told her to put it on private because he knew they were coming. All right. Next, Tony Kinnett. Never heard of this dude either. So his list is real eclectic. Real eclectic because there's a couple people on here we don't know about. And I see why. I see why. This over here in the left side bothers me.
I don't show Donnie that. She might find the symbology in it. That's my fiance, for those who don't know. Very into that. You have to send that to her. You can track it down, see what it is, because it's probably pagan.
U.S. Disinformation Governance Board. I know what that is. Remember when they did that shit? You remember when they did that shit?
Yeah.
So it makes
that crazy cat lady who was singing that damn song about misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
That Mary Poppins chick.
Yeah. Was he on it or did he buy that?
He probably bought it or had it made. Because I don't know if they even had a seal. They may have. I'm gonna check that out, but I don't think the agency actually had a seal yet.
Right, because they were part of Homeland Security.
Yeah, that and it didn't last long enough.
That's crazy. So, okay, so it looks like he did buy it. Because it says that he created a Twitter account mocking it. So I hope y'all understand that's how he got over. He created a Twitter page to mock this Disinformation Governance Board.
That's right. Okay, I think I know who he is now. I think I remember that account. It was more of like a satire of it.
Yeah, that's who he's promoting. Okay. Before we even say his name, for those who don't know who he is, we gotta play it.
Here it comes.
We gotta play it. So give me 1 second. We gotta load it back up. But anyway, while I do that, how are the chickens doing?
They're doing excellent. Doing their thing, pooping all over the place.
Fertilizer.
Fertilizer, yeah.
All right, Tiny Tranny, you gotta go because we gotta put this in there. But yeah. By the way, I think Tiny Tranny, aka Terrence K. Williams, I think his business is done. The pancakes and all that.
Is it? He's not selling those flapjacks anymore.
He ain't promoting.
And
I would say he had a heart and not try to push it on people because it's like $20 a box. But now he's trying to sell a book talking about he wants to go on The View. And he would roast Whoopi Goldberg.
You better stay away from Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg, the chick who let her husband Ted Danson in blackface. Miss Grape Grape. You think you're gonna roast her? Oh, okay. Guinan from Star Trek: The Next Generation. You think you're gonna roast her? Okay. I don't like Whoopi like that, but Whoopi's a comedian, a legit comedian. She'd have you crying. She'd have you crying so hard the water would fill your shoes and you'd actually be taller. I'm just saying. But before we mentioned this next name.
Here's the thing. I gotta go. They're quick to run and grab that talking point of Biden and Hillary Clinton. You know, created the. I'm gone, man. Bill. They created the crime bill. You the fakest nigga I ever seen in my life. They created the crime bill. I see you in person. They created the crime bill. They created what you said. They created. I'm done, bro. You a fake nigga. I hope everybody see that. I appreciate it. Fake, bro. I'm gonna expose you to everybody. And when I see you, nigga, we gonna be. It's gonna be on. I want you to know that. Because you call me on the phone and you saying all this, and then you get on the live stream and you playing this shit. You should be ashamed of yourself. Is that black on black crime? Is that black on black crime? You's a bitch. I told you. Everybody on your live stream know you's a bitch. And when I see you, I'm whooping your ass. Everybody got your live stream. I like it. You want to be hood, nigga? You want to be hood? You on the phone talking shit to me and you call me? You saying you apologize? Yeah, nigga. I never apologize. You apologize? I never apologize. You didn't apologize. My wife listened to you, nigga. I never apologized. What I said was. Bitch, nigga. That's what I said. Yes, sir. Let's wrap this up. All right, I appreciate everybody.
He listens.
I'll never
to
forget that.
Thug. We can't ever forget it. But he listened to that Thug.
Of course he did. Like, I remember feeling so bad for Antonia and for Lawrence Jones, who were trying to actually have a serious conversation. And every time I see that, the first thing I look at is Bryson's face and Uncle Hotep, because they're both just cracking up at the whole thing. But that was a momentous moment in what I call the Black conservative civil war.
And he was eating good, didn't he? That was 2020. He was eating good. That's crazy. Now this next one, fam. The Off Code podcast host.
Never heard of that.
Upon doing research, them fools went over there and decided to say that they are mistied to the slave trade and assimilation. This is black people that said this. I should have known. And the best part of it is they're saying they're trying to, along with their guests, challenge harmful generalizations about black culture within Christian communities. Okay.
So put on the full armor of God, Jesus Christ. I love you, God. Him, a true Jesus Christ.
You folk that love to tie Christianity to the black community, everyday life, y'all need to go somewhere. That don't work no more. The pork chop preachers can't do it no more, and nobody with a podcast might go and do it. We're at the age of, unless you have a private conversation with the Most High, you need to get yourself right, because ain't no pastor gonna help you, and nobody with a podcast might gonna help you. Crack open the real Bible, not the slave manual that you got from the white Europeans, because there's 88 books in there that you need to read. But I guarantee you they'll never have me on there and talk about that, because if they did, they throw me off in 5 minutes. I wouldn't even have to bring that out. I'll bring out one of Shahrazad Ali's books saying, "Are you still a slave?" I would quiz them right there, and we find out they're a slave. I call them a slave, and then I get kicked off. But it is what it is. Now I'm gonna let you have this one. He said James Lindsay. I'm gonna let you have that one.
James Lindsay. What am I gonna do with you, James Lindsay? I mean, I met him once, and he was a nice enough guy. He was fine. There's some things that he's written that I thought were pretty on point. My issue with him is that, it's that I think people thought he was something that he wasn't. The fact that this person thinks that he's a conservative is weird, because he's never really claimed to be that. But he's just against the woke stuff, which it's kind of where I get into a lot of disagreements with him, because to a lot of these people, woke means what? It means black. Now, I'm not saying that applies to everybody, but to a lot of people on the right, that's what it means. The other issue that I have with him is that when he puts his ideas forward, he doesn't really speak English. And, when I read his stuff, I can understand it. But at the same time, I'm like, most people aren't going to be, digging into this when they can't even understand what you're saying. So to me, on James Lindsay, I'm just kind of whatever. Like he doesn't really bother me, but I'm not really a fan. I'm like, wow, whatever. Oh, one more thing, and I'll also say that a lot of his commentary on the woke right, people are crediting him for that term, and nobody really knows who first came up with it. I mean, I was using it a long time ago. Otep Jesus was too. But my thing is, he tends to tie that to people's attitudes on Israel. That ain't what being woke right means. Woke right is when the right acts like the woke left, when they're pushing like the idea that they're being oppressed by some group like illegal immigrants or Hispanic people or black people or the Jews. It's not really about Israel per se. So to me, I think that is distracting from what the real problem is with the woke right.
And just to get this out the way, he had to repeat Brandon Tatum twice. He wants to make sure he knows that he's there. Maybe he'll tag him. Let's say thanks a lot, bro. But the last one, Valuetainment's Patrick Bet David, who's been getting cooked the past year. He went on Jubilee and got cooked. They saying allegedly he went on there and did not know who King Leopold was. I have to go watch it. I have to go watch it and see if that was really true. Some white boy cooked his ass because he tried to bring up saying the Jewish Holocaust was worse than anything that black people went through.
See, and that's the problem. Like, I think he really exemplifies the actual issues with a lot of right-wing influencers. All they know are talking points. All they know is a script that's been given to them by other influencers and by the establishment. They don't really know much. They don't really know a lot. I know he's built a successful business, a multi-level marketing scheme, and I know that he was good at doing that. But when he got into the political lane, I think it was easy to see that he just like everything he says is like skin deep. Like there's no real substance there. I think that he just, again, he'll just repeat whatever talking points align with what the audience he was pandering to wants to believe. And that's it. You don't really have to go deeper because people don't really want you to anyway. So if he's in an actual debate with people who are knowledgeable, just like a lot of these other right-wing influencers, he's going to crumble. Same holds true of the left too. I mean, there's left-wing influencers who just really know how to talk in sound bites like you hear on Fox News or CNN. You only get like 30 seconds to talk anyway. So to me, their knowledge isn't all there, but they are good at saying what people want to hear. And that's all you got to, and that's really all you have to be in this space.
Look at this. They still dropping
tacos with no cheese or meat. I love it.
What's that? Oh my God.
The informative media said tacos with no cheese or meat. Perfect explanation. I might have to steal that.
Damn.
You just got a little bit of lettuce, a few pieces of tomatoes. That's it.
Hey, just put some hot sauce in it. It'll be all right. It saves a vegetable. But that's crazy. All right, let's continue. Do you see what you see on your screen, family? I was about to leave, but this is funny. Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump spent Thanksgiving together in 2017 while Trump was in office. Okay. And you just figured this out? What's this? Hope today is fun for you. Fun. When are you back in New York City? Okay, Dylan will want to see you. I always want to see you. Where are you having Thanksgiving? Ava. That means Glenn, check out his red hair. Varies color for holiday. He's such a snooze. Who else is down there? David Feisel, Hanson, Trump. Have fun. Wow. Okay. Okay.
if that's true, and I'm not sure that it is yet because I need to look into it. If that's true, that's going to expose some stuff because Trump said that he cut off contact with Epstein ages ago. So if he was having Thanksgiving dinner with them, that's going to look really bad. And that kind of, that would kind of help to explain why his administration is being so secretive about it. But that's assuming that it's true. Because I know Trump lies, the government lies in general, but that doesn't mean that the people who are against him aren't lying too. So I'll hold off judgment on that until I know whether it's true or not.
Yeah. I just find it funny they're dropping all these lyrics on him now. Look, all these people are being paid to post this in the same hour as one another to make it trend. We call this manipulated social bombing. Well, hey, dumbass, they've been doing. So when y'all exposed that the left had influencer agencies, y'all were saying it's targeted manipulation. But then when people expose the right for doing the same thing, nothing. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because they said MAGA's dead. So by the way, since all these left-wing accounts said MAGA's dead, can I include Nick Fuentes on this? Because he said the same thing.
Well, it makes sense. He is a gay race communist. So you can include him.
Say it again.
Yeah, you can include him. Nicky Fuentes is a gay race communist. He watches gay porn. He's obsessed with race. He hates anybody who isn't white. And he admires Joseph Stalin. He's a gay race communist. The very people who he says he hates. The Groypers who say they hate these people, they worship a gay race communist. That is what Nicky Fuentes is. That's what he will always be. I mean, it is what it is.
We know this. The Chinese know that we know. But we make believe that we don't know, and the Chinese make believe that they believe that we don't know, but know that we know. Everybody knows.
Exactly.
And they're propping him up. They try to get him on Fox News to legitimize him. That's the best part of the whole deal.
It's funny. They're embracing these Groypers. They're embracing Nicky Fuentes. Like that's really going to help them grow the movement. Oh, we have to have a big tent. Yeah, but you're going to lose tons of people. Like, and I'm not even just talking about losing black people or minorities. White people don't like his ass either. Like you're not going to attract white people who don't like racists or white supremacists or people who hate Jews. It's a horrible idea, and I don't know who is telling him that it's a good idea to try to legitimize this guy. Like, you can debate him, you can, whatever, but don't try to make him sound like he's some wise, sageful young man. He's just a grifter. Like he's what's the word I'm looking for? He's a hack. Like he's not even all that entertaining. I've never really understood the appeal. I'm sure that they could find some white nationalists that are way more entertaining than he is. But I guess that they got to go with what they got to go with. But whatever. Awesome.
Yeah, that's something Nick would like. That's pause, by the way. What? Oh Lord. Her fall off, and I don't know. I don't know what happened to her. And she went to go talk with JLP. I was like, damn.
Oh, that tracks.
And it's sad to see because she's actually smart. I just don't know. She could have just stayed in the middle, or she'd have been. Never mind. You know what? She got it. She got it.
Yeah.
The Empire State Building was built in 13 months. Okay, great. Wonderful. And the material was better. Ooh, a lot of young people are saying how. Ooh, I want him to say it.
A lot of young people are saying housing is way too expensive. Why is that? Because we flooded the country with 30 million illegal immigrants who are taking houses that ought by right go to American citizens.
And you pussies watched them doing and didn't do nothing.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's all the regulations surrounding housing that are driving up the prices. It's not illegal immigrants. Maybe that's contributing to some of it, but in general, No, it's not. It's all the regulations that they put in front of people who want to build homes, who want to build affordable homes. The licensing process can take years in some states and across the country. Like, you have to cross all these boxes. You've got these bureaucracies who impose all these rules that you will get arrested for if you break them. And that's why housing sucks. That's why affordable housing isn't a thing. It's the government. That's what it is. It's not somebody coming here from Mexico or from Nicaragua. It's what the government is doing to make it harder for these companies to build homes. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
And he knows that, by the way.
Yeah. And he also knows that why he looked like he just left the set of Tuong Fu. That makeup is crazy, bro.
I know. He looks like he should
be in
put
trouble,
a bat
fam.
cowl.
Shit. Bat Vance.
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Fright.
I mean, wasn't it the same makeup that Robert Pattinson was wearing when he did the Batman movie?
Yeah. He just needs the black around the eyes.
Right.
Fam, we in trouble. That's why we push community over here. Gotta get with the community. Because they trying to get us. They putting vaccines in the food. They trying to kill THC. They don't want to have us have no fun. Next, our bridges will collapse.
Well,
and the reason why I say that, he said it, not me. But anyway, y'all.
You know that's what they'll blame.
Oh yeah, DEI all day. But anyway, fam, we're gonna get up out of here. This was a fun conversation. Jeff, you're always welcome. Like I said before at the beginning, you have a YouTube channel, so let them know where they can find you at. We'll get you the link and we will put it in the chat so y'all can go over there and get some more edification.
Yeah, you can check out my podcast. It's called A Fresh Perspective with Jeff Charles. And I got my Substack called Chasing Liberty. That's at libertychasers.com. And you can follow me on the Twitters at Jeff Charles Jr.
Cool. And he does work for Red Town Hall State. I'm just kidding. He writes for Town Hall and
townhall.com.
Yes, sir. Where they do perspectives from, is it from the right? I forgot.
It's definitely from the right, yeah.
Yeah. But Jeff sprinkles the Black American into it. Only his stuff. I don't know about everybody else's stuff, but his stuff, yes. So get as many perspectives as you can because them fools are just, yeah. Damn. That's crazy. But anyway, fam, I'm going to go enjoy my steak, cooking it and making mashed potatoes. And you guys can enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm sure there's things that you can do on a Thursday. There's football tonight. Football. And basketball. And everything else that's woke. But I know one thing you're not doing. You're not going to go see Sydney Sweeney's movie because MAGA didn't do it. But anyway, y'all, we're going to get up out of here. So hopefully you learned something if you did a dumb job. If not, I try to be better next time. We will see you when we see you. Hopefully you like the live roast. We got some other content coming for you. And we're going to just love the last 6 weeks of the year. Just about 7 weeks. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yeah. So y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.
Oh, here it goes!
Time's up.
Get your ass up! We gotta get out of here now!
But did we have a good time here? Hello?
Gotta get your groove on.
end of the day that they got in.
That's it.